everyone. My name is Mary Klein, and I would like to share with you today my experience. I was born deaf, and when I was a little girl, I was placed in an oral program. The school was called the Walnut School, right down here in downtown Lansing. It's since closed and has become the North School on Miller Road. Anyway, at the Walnut School, in the oral program, they emphasized speech and oral training day in and day out, and I tried my hardest. And the lessons were very, very little. What we learned was very, very little. Actually, almost nothing. My days were spent on speech. My language development did not occur. Day in and day out, it was spent on learning to speak. And sign language was forbidden in this school. And if students were caught signing, they were severely punished. For example, your hands were tied behind your back. And teachers used rulers and slapped us on the hand to stop us from signing. The punishments varied, but they were severe, and I saw them happening day in and day out in my school. I remember a personal experience that I will never forget. I was 8 years old, and my teacher had passed out an assignment for the day to all the deaf kids, and I took it, and it was sentences. It was a reading, a skills assignment, and there was a sentence with blanks in it, and there was multiple choice responses, and you had to figure out which word went into the blank. And I thought it just looked like fun. It looked like a fun game to me. And the teacher was explaining what she wanted us to do in speech, and I didn't understand a word she said. I looked at her, and it went right on past me. So I filled out that paper thinking it was a game, and I was all excited. And when it came time for us to line up and present our papers to the teacher, I remember I was the last student in line, and I saw the teacher grading the students' papers in front of me. And I looked at my paper, and I looked at her paper, and I knew, okay, from the papers that were graded in front of me that they got some right answers, and that mine were not going to be right. They were all wrong. So, when it was my turn to give the teacher my paper, she looked at it, and she used a red pencil, which to today, I hate red pencils, and she put a big old X through that page. And remember, I'm 8 years old. And that teacher, she grabbed me by the wrist. And I mean, it scared me. She grabbed me, she started jerking me around in the classroom, and she dragged me to another classroom and showed the teacher in that classroom my paper. And she felt bad for me, I could tell. And my teacher started slapping me in the face. She was slapping me in the face because my paper was wrong. And I deserved being slapped in the face? No. So I ran and I hid. And I cried and cried. From that point on, I was not interested in learning anything from this teacher. To speak, to work with her. And that oral program had determined that I was an oral failure. An oral failure, okay? I was a failure. My parents decided to send me to the Michigan School for the Deaf. They wanted to see me receive the best education possible. But my parents ended up having to go to court to fight to win to send me to school. The school wasn't going to let me go easily. And I went to the Michigan School for the Deaf because my parents won. When I went into the school that first day, I was shocked because there were many deaf children everywhere who were happy, who were signing. And I didn't know what they were doing. I mean, in the oral program, we weren't happy. We were sad. We were miserable. And here was a school where kids were smiling and free to sign and to express themselves. I wanted to learn to sign. I wanted to talk to these children, and they helped me. They taught me signs. My teachers at the school, at Michigan School for the Deaf, they had a lot of patience with me, and they taught me the lessons. They taught me how to sign, and it was a struggle at first. My language developed very slowly, and I picked things up. one by one by one, and eventually it started coming to me so much easier, and I was so happy. And I'm here today to stand in front of you, and I am an ASL success. And I am very thankful to my family, to the Michigan School for the Deaf, to the teachers at that school, and to the deaf children who helped me to develop, to succeed. And I'm here today. Thanks to all of you for coming.
Yeah.